If I'm saying that correctly, I hope I am. Ms. Grabar, if you could, the same admonition to you, if you could keep your comments limited to allow time for questions.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on behalf of Senate Bill 458. My name is Mary Grabar, and I live in Stone Mountain. I hold a PhD in English from the University of Georgia. I have taught there and in several other colleges and universities of the University System of Georgia. I now teach part-time at a private university in Atlanta and work as a writer focusing on education issues.
What university do you teach at? Just out of curiosity.
I am not a regular employee, but I do teach at Emory.
At Emory,
but,
okay.
But I do not say that because my job is in jeopardy for the political positions I take. And it's not a political position, actually. So what I want to say here is that my views are my own as I speak today. They do not represent the views of my employer. And I also want to add that I have been teaching college for almost 20 years now. On February 4th, I attended the Teach-In on Tucson at the Georgia State University College of Education. Although the purpose was described on the website as facilitating discussion of curriculum and censorship, what I found was a rally for activists opposed to Georgia's efforts to restrict benefits to illegal aliens. The provisions of the Arizona law were not even discussed. Instead, workshops focused on how to use banned materials in the classroom and how to lobby against immigration bills. One of the 3 workshops was titled, quote, "Here Are Voices, Letter Writing Sessions." I was shocked to hear one education professor, and I've named her name in an article I've written, at Georgia State University openly pledged to bribe students with, quote, extra points or extra credit for writing letters opposed to bills restricting benefits to illegal aliens. This is a serious violation of all ethical standards for teaching. I would never dream of doing anything like that. It also throws into question the source of letters opposed to SB 458. How many of them were written in order to gain better grades? At the workshop on using one of the banned books, Rethinking Columbus, were 3 education majors in music, physical education, and history. They were from Clayton State University and Georgia State University. This was in one workshop I attended. I wonder, did they attend in order to fulfill an assignment? This teach-in had no educational purpose in my view, yet it was co-sponsored by 2 deans and several professors from Georgia public universities, along with activist groups. Listed as, quote, supporters were 24 individuals from Georgia State and 1 from Kennesaw State, among others from the media, activist groups, and the curriculum company called Rethinking Schools. I have written an article about this. It's on my website, and it has more details on it. And I thank you for the opportunity to speak about this issue.
So, is it Grabar? Is that right?
Yes.
So, just to make sure I understand, at Georgia State University, there was a seminar or some sort of program given where employees of the university system use that. Is it your contention that they use that as a platform for a lobbying effort against certain legislation? It wouldn't matter what it is, frankly. I mean, whether it be this issue or something completely unrelated, but use that as a forum to increase lobbying effort against a particular issue, and one or more that was sponsored by one or more administrators of that university, and one or more instructors within that forum, employees of the university, use that effort as a, or I guess offer extra credit for students to take a particular political position and to communicate that position to members here.
That is correct.
I know, that's what we're doing. I mean,
That is what I heard there, yes.
okay. I mean, is there anyone that did, I mean, if we ask the individuals involved, are they going to deny that, or are they going to, or I guess we'll just ask them, won't we?
I know what I heard, and I.
Well, I'm sorry. Were you there?
I was there.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes, I was there for the whole thing. I heard it all.
Okay.
Yes.
Was this a program that was publicized and
It was publicized.
like other programs
yes.
are, come join us, etc.?
Yes, the public was invited.
Okay.
There was no cost for it.
Okay. Ms. Bird.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would assume it's no different than a letter I received from a constituent that goes to a university, and the adjunct professor said, "You are in my class and I am a Marxist and I am going to change your mind." Any different?
I think it goes a step further because I see it as bribery for grades. You are asking someone to lobby for particular legislation for a grade. The function of a professor is not to promote an ideological or political position. It is to educate. So I see it as being sort of in line with that, but this goes a step beyond. And I have, quite frankly, never really witnessed that in 20 years in education.
Well, it goes both sides, so thank you.
If that's true, and look, this is secondhand information for people at this side of the table, but if that's true, that's an extremely disturbing reality just from a pure academic ethics standpoint. But there are two sides to every story, and sometimes there are even more than two. And so we're going to explore that a little further on a separate track down the line. I'm not going to put any particular official on the spot on that, but that's not something that just goes away, because if it doesn't get explored, then it just gets exploited in the future. That's a fact. We appreciate your testimony. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're just going to go ahead and go down the line here. If there are people who are, we're not engaging in a dialogue here. This isn't, this is if you come and testify, that's great. We're not shouting out and, doing that. That's not the way the system works here.